What separates winners from losers is not talent, no luck, no resources. It is something much more powerful that shapes every second of its existence. As you watch this video, an invisible force is determining your future. This force turned ordinary people into legends and reduced geniuses to failures. She built empires and destroyed dynasties. This strength is inside you right now, working non-stop. They are your thoughts. That inner voice you hear every day is not just a passive narrator. It is the architect of your reality. Each thought you allow to remain in your mind is carving your destiny with absolute accuracy. This is the truth that masters have always knew. Their external life is only the reflection of their dominant internal thoughts. You become what you think most of the time. This truth, pronounced by the great Earl Nightingale for decades, continues to resonate with the same force today as the day it was first said. Think about it. Every moment of your current life is the direct result of the thoughts you chose to nourish yesterday, last week, last year. Your reality is not accidental. It is a faithful harvest of the mental seeds you planted. Look around you. Note where you are, the people you relate to, the work you do, the resources you have. All this, absolutely all, started as a thought. A simple, singular thought that was fed day after day. The body you live in, the balance of your bank account, the quality of your relationships are just the material of the thoughts you have chosen to honor your attention. But here is the real miracle. At any time, you can change the whole course of your life by simply changing your dominant thoughts. At any second, you can start a silent revolution that will transform every aspect of your existence. The power to completely redesign your reality is waiting for you, here and now, in the unexplored territory of your own mind. Imagine a young violinist who devotes hours daily to your art. Every movement of the arch, every note that echoes, every nuance of music, everything is the result of those silent moments of practice when no one was watching. So, it is with your mind. Every thought you allow to remain is like the movement practiced of an arc over the strings of your life. And just as the violinist eventually touches a conscious effort, his dominant thoughts eventually manifest themselves without visible effort in his external reality. It is a law as immutable as gravity. You cannot continually think of abundance and experience scarcity. You cannot think of health and live in chronic disease. You cannot feed love thoughts and attract hatred. The universe responds not to your occasional desires or prayers, but what you believe so deeply that it has become part of your being. Consider for a moment Leonardo da Vinci. Before any of his masterpieces took on physical form, they existed complete in his mind. The Mona Lisa, before being immortalized in paint, was a clear and vivid view in Leonardo's mental theater. He saw the invisible before he could create the indestructible. And you, like Leonardo, have this same creative power. The only difference is that as it created with paint and screen, you create with thoughts and beliefs infinitely more powerful tools. But beware, this power works in both directions. Just as high thoughts create a high life, limited thoughts create a limited life. I can't. This is impossible. People like me don't achieve this kind of success. These are not just innocent phrases, they are powerful decrees. They are direct orders to your brain and the universe, commanding the creation of more limitation, more frustration, more of the same. Stop for a moment and ask yourself, what thoughts have I consistently fed? Are you a possibilities cultivator or a problem collector? Do you sow visions of grandeur or cultivate mediocrity fields? The answer is not in your words, but in your current life. She is the living testimony of the thoughts you chose to host. But here is the liberating news. Your mind is your private property. No one, absolutely no one, can think your thoughts for you. In a world where so many things are beyond their control, their thoughts remain their sovereign rule. Right now, you can expel any thoughts that do not serve your highest purpose and replace it with one that opens the doors to your sleeping greatness. Many live as if they were passive victims of circumstances, such as dry leaves in the wind, without their own direction. They say, "That's how life is. I have no choice. This is just my luck." But the winners, the directors, Those who leave an indelible brand in this world understand a fundamental truth. Circumstances do not determine destinations. Thoughts, yes. When Thomas Edison faced thousands of failed attempts before improving the electric lamp, he did not allow defeat thinking to dominate his mind. Instead, he famously stated that he had not failed. He had simply found 10,000 ways that did not work. His persistent thoughts of solution, not of failure, literally illuminated the world. What could happen if you apply this same mental toughness to the challenges you face now? The uncomfortable truth is that many prefer family comfort from mediocrity to the temporary discomfort of greatness. They choose small thoughts because large thoughts require great action, and great action requires courage. But it was not the small thoughts that built the pyramids, which cured devastating diseases that sent humans to the moon. The story belongs to those who dare to think beyond the obvious, beyond the acceptable, beyond what others consider realistic. And here is the key that many successful search engines never find. You don't have to believe something is possible to start thinking like it was. This is the genius of as if. Act as if it were the person you aspire to be. Think as if success were already your right to birth. Feel like your dreams are already materializing. It is this thought as if that doubles reality in its favor, which transforms potential into kinetics, which converts dreams into deeds. This is not fantasy. It is the applied science of the mind. When you change your dominant thoughts, you literally reconfigure the neural circuits of your brain. Neuroplasticity calls scientists. I call mental alchemy. You are literally transforming the substance from your being through the power of conscious thinking. But beware, the universe tests the sincerity of your thoughts. He asks, do you really believe that, or are it just a passing fantasy? And he tests through obstacles, challenges, apparent setbacks. These are not signs to give up, but invitations to strengthen their mental resolution. Each obstacle is nothing more than a disguised opportunity to prove to yourself that your new thoughts are more powerful than your old circumstances. Imagine if Mother Teresa had allowed thoughts of powerlessness to dominate her mind when confronted with Calcutta's overwhelming misery. Instead, she thought, I can help this person in front of me. A simple thought, repeated thousands of times, which eventually played millions of lives. Never underestimate the power of a single thought consistent to change not only your life, but the whole world. Your thoughts are like living magnets, attracting experiences that resonate at the same frequency. Foundation of scarcity attract more reasons to fear. Thoughts of abundance attract more reasons to celebrate. Thoughts of love attract more reasons to love. This is not esoteric philosophy. It is the pragmatic mechanics of how human consciousness interacts with the field of infinite possibilities that surrounds us. Look in the eyes of the child that you were one day. That child who believed everything was possible, that dreamed without limits, that saw the world as an infinite field of possibilities. This child has not disappeared. She was simply silenced by years of can't, shouldn't, be realistic. But it still lives within you, hoping that you allow your thoughts to return to that original purity, to that unshakable faith in the impossible. Declare now, silent or aloud, my thoughts are my most powerful tool, and I choose to use them to build, not to destroy, to raise, not to decrease, to create, not to regret. This simple statement, when repeated with conviction, is sufficient to start a revolution in your life experience. But thoughtless thoughts are like unlabeled seeds, full of potential but infertile. This is where many fail. They learn about the power of positive thinking, but do not understand that this is just the first step. Thought creates the plan, but action builds the building. Thought draws the map, but your feet must go through the territory. There is a certain magic in acting while the thought is still hot, while inspiration still pulsates into its veins. Many miss extraordinary opportunities because they wait for the perfect moment to act. But the masters of life, the true architects of destiny, know that the perfect moment is now, always now. Thought inspires action, and action validates thought. It is a sacred cycle of creation. Note how nature operates. A seed does not contemplate whether or not to grow when conditions are favorable. It simply grows. A river does not question whether it should flow into the ocean. It simply flows. Its human potential longs for the same natural and spontaneous expression. Your thoughts are the conditions you create so that your internal seeds flourish. And they will flourish. This is the unchanging promise of life. Every great realization in human history began as a thought that seemed absurd to everyone except for its bearer. The abolition of slavery, female vote, the cure of once fatal diseases, spatial exploitation. All these deeds began as ridiculous thoughts in the minds of visionaries who refused to limit their imagination by the conventions of their time. What if you allowed yourself this same kind of visionary thinking? What if, just for today, did you suspend all your self-titled doubts and limitations? And if you thought not from who you are now, but who you could become? This type of expansive thinking is what separates the extraordinary from ordinary. The directors of the dreamers, the leaders of the followers. Your mind is like a garden. You will reap precisely what to plant. Plant question and will gather hesitation. Plant fear and will gather paralysis. Plant excuses and will reap stagnation. But plant vision and will gather direction. Plant courage and gather achievements. Plant persistence and will gather victories that others just dream. The thoughts you are having right now are shaping your tomorrow. No tomorrow in a vague, distant sense, but your next moment, your next hour, your next day. Every second is an opportunity to direct the course of your life through the conscious power of thought. This is not a small responsibility. It is the core of your sovereignty as a human being. One of the biggest lies that many believe is that thoughts are random events that simply happen to us. Nothing could be further from the truth. Your thoughts are choices, perhaps the most significant choices you make every day. And like all choices, they carry consequences. The good news is that every moment you have the opportunity to choose again, to think again, to create again. Think of your mind how the control room of a sophisticated production studio. You are the director, the screenwriter, the producer of the movie of your life. The thoughts you allow are the scenes you approve for filming. Some people live mediocre lives because they constantly approve scenes of limitation, fear, scarcity. But you can choose different. You can approve only the scenes that represent your highest vision for your life. There is an old story about two wolves that live within each person. A wolf of fear, doubt, and negativity, and a wolf of courage, faith, and possibility. Which one wins? The one you feed. Your thoughts are the food you offer these aspects of yourself. Feed thoughts of greatness, and the greatness will grow within you. Feed thoughts of limitation, and limitation will become your dominant experience. His subconscious does not question the quality of his thoughts. He simply accepts them as commands for manifestation. If you repeatedly think, "I'm not good enough," your subconscious works tirelessly to prove that you are right. If you consistently think, "Opportunities find me easily," your subconscious reorganizes your perception and behavior to make it a reality lived. Power here is almost scary in its implications. Earl Nightingale called it the servant mechanism. As a faithful servant, your subconscious mind works day and night to manifest the thoughts you most emphasize. She does not judge whether these thoughts are good or bad, limiting or liberators. It simply performs relentlessly, efficiently, transforming its dominant thoughts into physical experience. Consider this extraordinary fact. You have approximately 60,000 thoughts a day. The vast majority of these thoughts are the same ones you had yesterday, and the day before yesterday, and last week. This repetition creates deep grooves in your consciousness, establishing patterns of thought that eventually become automatic. The crucial question is, are these grooves taking you to where you really want to go? Have you ever observed how some people seem to attract success without apparent effort? The secret is not that they find no obstacles. It is that their dominant thoughts are so powerfully aligned with the success that they perceive obstacles in a fundamentally different way. Where others see barriers, they see steps. Where others see problems, they see puzzles to be solved. This is not a difference in circumstance, it is a difference in thought. Think of the big innovators that have transformed whole industries. Steve Jobs did not invent the smartphone, but thought differently about what a phone could be. Nelson Mandela had no political power during her 27 years in prison, but maintained unavailable thoughts of reconciliation that eventually rebuilt a nation. His persistent thoughts of possibility, kept even in the most adverse circumstances, have changed the course of history. There is a special frequency of thought that attracts miracles, is the frequency of absolute certainty. Not the rigid arrogance of the ego, but the quiet confidence of the soul that knows that it is aligned with greater forces than itself. When you think from this place, the resources you need for your dreams are attracted to you as a metal to a magnet. People, opportunities, ideas, solutions, all flows toward you because your thoughts are in harmony with the deepest laws of creation. The invisible energy matrix that connects all things responds not to your words, not to your actions, but to the vibrations of your consistent thoughts. Einstein, Tesla, and now modern quantum physicists confirm what mystics have always knew. Everything is energy, including their thoughts, and similar energy attracts similar energy. This is not philosophy. It is physical applied to your daily life. You have already experienced those rare moments of absolute clarity when a powerful thought crosses your mind and you know, certainly unshakable, that something wonderful is about to happen. This is not coincidence or fantasy. You are tuning even soon with your power inherent as co-creator of your reality. These moments can become your normal state of operation when you assume conscious control of your thinking patterns. Look at your current life not with judgment, but curiously. Every detail of your experience is a direct reflection of the thoughts you have consistently nourishing. If there are areas that do not reflect your inherent greatness, do not condemn yourself. Celebrate the power you now recognize from transforming them through conscious thinking. Success is not an accident, just as failure is not a punishment. Both are natural results of sustained thinking patterns. The person who consistently cultivates thoughts of excellence cannot be prevented from achieving excellence. The person who usually entertains thoughts of mediocrity cannot avoid manifesting mediocrity. This is the perfect justice of the universe. You receive not what you want, but what you internally believe to be true. Choose now, become the watchful guardian of your mind. Examine every thought seeking entry. Ask, does this thought serve me? This thought brings me closer to my dreams? This thought honor who I really am? If the answer is no, you have not only the right, but the sacred responsibility to refuse and replace it with one that is aligned with your highest vision. There is a power within you that is expecting to be awakened, the power to create, through conscious thinking, a life that exceeds your bolder dreams. This power does not know limitations except those that you impose on yourself through your own limiting thoughts. Free yourself from these self-imposed limitations, and you will find that your creation capacity is as vast as the universe itself. The moment is now. No tomorrow, not when the circumstances are perfect, not when you feel that you are ready. The moment to complain about your power as a conscious thinker is this exact second. Every moment of postponement is a missed opportunity to start creating the life you deserve. You are the product of your dominant thoughts. As you think, you become. Choose, therefore, to think thoughts that are up to your true nature. Infinite, powerful, divine. Think about how the big ones thought. Dream how the visionaries dreamed. Believe how the transformers of the world believed. And then, watch the miracle of your life unfold exactly as the plan created by your highest thoughts. Because this is the truth that masters have always known. You inevitably become precisely what you think. This is the law. This is the promise. This is the power that is now yours to exercise. Power is in your mind. The moment is now. The choice is yours. And so, with every new thought consciously chosen, you write the next chapter of your extraordinary life. Not as a victim of destiny, but as the sovereign architect of his own greatness. This is your legacy, your right of birth, your truth. Embrace her, live her, become her, and note how the whole universe reorganizes to support the glorious view that your thoughts now command.